The hidden genius of Five Nights at Freddy's secret sound effect.
Or seen a play. If you've either played or seen a playthrough of Five Nights at Freddy's,
I really thought, yeah, I thought it was going to do an ad read.
you likely remember this sound.
Dude, is that how FNAF looks? Is it just a PNG? Look at that.
Remember this sound.
I never played FNAF, by the way. The only ones I played is Security Breach and Secret of the Mimic. I'm too scared to play a Five Nights at Freddy's game. Could you imagine how embarrassing that is, bro? Like, my character before the TV head was Foxy the Pirate, and then I changed it to look less like Foxy the Pirate. Hang on a sec. Jarvis, pull up the reference sheet. Pull up the reference sheet of the guy that's literally pushing 30. Where is the server? Leather Skrilt? Where is it? Hang on a minute. Oh my god. Dude, why is Discord so hard to navigate? Like, I mean, yeah, you can see it here. You got the TV one and then the furry one. But the fact that that used to be Foxy the Pirate is beyond embarrassing. Terrible, shameful stuff. And I still never played a FNAF game, like a proper one. Play the first one? No, not doing that. But doesn't that also go to show, dude, like the cultural impact that game had? Isn't that crazy?
This ambience, known as Giant Hollow Tube Sector, is a stock sound effect used as background ambience in the first Five Nights at Freddy's, playing throughout all of the nights. The nights also...
I will be honest. I have heard that sound effect get used in so many, like, YouTube poops and Gary's Mod videos.
have a second ambient track playing simultaneously known as Cold Presence B. While Cold Presence B is constantly audible throughout the whole night, Giant Hollow Tube Sector, or Hollow Tube as I'll be calling it from now on, isn't.
Play FNAF 1
Hollow
on
Tube
stream.
will...
Don't be a whim.
Thank you, Mulk, for the 10. I've already done my horror game quota for today. Thank you very much. Maybe another day.
come in and out at
I mean, that could be kind of genius, though, like doing that for a challenge. I actually would not be against that, not gonna lie.
various points in the night for seemingly no reason. Sometimes you hear it, and sometimes you don't. Back in 2020, Scruffy made a good video about FNAF's sound design, and in it he explains how the game has a load of red herrings among the ambient noises, the type of sounds that are there to throw you off or even startle you rather than provide useful information to you. Among these, he included the hollow tube ambience, assuming that it means nothing, and that its only purpose is to increase confusion, and therefore tension.
What do you mean you don't care about FNAF? You're in a history lesson. Sit down, shut up!
But this sound in particular is resonant enough that you can discern it. Your ear just can't make out any details, and thus it's another potential stressor. This time, though, you don't pick up any pattern or advantage from it. It's just sometimes there.
No, it's wrong.
Mostly. Scruffy is right in that the sound will likely stress players out due to the added noisy chaos it brings, which certainly will increase the tension. However, while the sound is non-diegetic and has no function in the game's universe, there is a pattern for when the sound plays.
Play FNAF Custom Night with everything on 20. Can I quit if I die once? That'd be the shortest FNAF speedrun ever. Like, I will actually lose the game in about 7.5 seconds.
And you actually can gain an advantage.
Look. I've got that special kind of autism where even though I've never played a game, I know more about it than half the people, okay? I know exactly how the mechanics work in that game.
From it.
Bruh, like, I swear, I know, like, every fact about FNAF, but I've never played the game. It's so sad. Genuinely, it's so sad.
Due to Scruffy's video being...
Did you know if you set the difficulty to 1987, you get, yellow golden Freddy jump scare and the game crashes?
being very popular and me not hearing a whole lot of talk about this sound effect and its purpose, I think it's safe to say that most people who have played FNAF have no idea what hearing this sound means. So, allow me to explain. If you've played or seen Five Nights at Freddy's 2 or 3, you likely remember these sounds.
Bruh, like that. I have never known a sound effect to be more rotted by irony in such a short amount of time. I don't think anyone can actually listen to that sound effect normally now. Nah, that one's got no aura. That sucks. That sucks, sorry. This one has... No one remembers this one. Go home.
You probably also know what their purpose is. These ambient tracks become audible.
Thank you, June Moons, for the 30. Wait a minute, is that June? How do I check? Is that June?
Hey Pyro, just wanted to say I've been watching since I'm 15 and I turn 18 next month. I recently got a job and besides buying nitro for my girlfriend I'd like to show you my appreciation. Thank you for shaping my ideology, hair transplant man.
Thank you, Guy, for the 10. Yeah, June is in, like... Used to be editor on the team, June, right? Yeah, I think your picture's your face. It's not your little drawn character. It threw me off for a sec. What's up, man? Hope you're well.
When an animatronic is getting close to entering your office. In FNAF 3's case, it also plays if Phantom Freddy is walking by the window, or if one of the other Phantoms is right about to attack.
I like how this is one of the most famous franchises ever, and it is literally just a collection of PNGs being dragged across the screen.
You. Anyway.
Aren't these games like 20 megabytes, bro? They probably would have ran on like miniclip.com if like Java was still up.
These ambient sounds are here not only to warn you about the oncoming danger, but to bump...
I'm pretty sure there are browser Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, for like the pause that couldn't like, you know, pay $5. Because I know the pause would use Roblox as well to play it a lot.
Up the tension using the power of intensifying music. With this in mind, you can take a guess what the holotube ambience's purpose is in FNAF 1. That's right, it's also a warning ambience. It becomes audible when an animatronic is close to attacking your office, and it even grows louder if...
This guy sounds campy. That's projection. What's your profile picture? Hang on. Jarvis Enhance. Dude, your profile picture is like, it's Tom and... It's Jerry. No, it's Tom the cat from Tom and Jerry. There is like a 90% chance you're a woman. Shush.
If there's more than one animatronic nearby. The big difference here is that the warning sound itself is way more subtle.
Bro got finished watching Sex and the City and Devil's Wear Prada and then calling someone campy.
Than the sequels. FNAF 2's warning sound is literally a blaring alarm, and FNAF 3's warning sound is much louder and higher pitched than the base ambience. Comparatively, the holotube sound in FNAF 1 is much more subdued under all the other background noise, making it...
I actually thought that was all 3D rendered, but it really is just a PNG.
...harder to tell when it's playing and why. You'll still hear the sound and register its existence, but because it doesn't draw so much attention to itself, you're less likely to connect the sound to any gameplay mechanic, so the sound only adds confusion and stress, increasing the tension. This is genius, but I'll talk more about this toward the end of the video. For now, in case you're wondering what...
I think it's more genius how FNAF probably single-handedly contributed to making more people furries than anything else has done in our since like human inception.
The exact triggers are for this ambience to start or stop.
Like this thing actually created an epidemic. Seriously.
Playing, I'm happy to inform. When a night begins, the holotube ambience will...
No, we don't talk about changed here. No one played that game.
...start playing.
Like 5 people played it and they won't stop talking about it.
But
it's like Transformers Twitter. They think like more people are talking about the show than they actually are.
It's muted by default and will only unmute once any of these 3 danger conditions are met. Number 1, Bonnie is in any of the West Hall cameras or at your door. Number 2, Chica is in any of the East Hall cameras or at your door. And number 3, Foxy is in stage 3, that is, standing outside the Pirate Cove curtain with his head cocked, or beyond.
Isn't it when he runs down the corridor, you literally have half a second to shut the door? Like, you're basically dead anyway.
If none of these conditions are true, the holotube ambience is muted. If one of these conditions is true, the holotube ambience's volume is set to 30%, making it audible. If 2 of these conditions are true, the holotube ambience's volume is boosted up to 50%. And if all 3 conditions are true, the volume is boosted further to 75%. Notice how Freddy, usually, does not affect the holotube ambience. It does not start playing as he gets near the office. But since he laughs when he moves, that's not a huge issue.
No, it's not a FNAF theory video. It's talking about the mechanics of the game. Thank you very much.
There is, however, one way Freddy affects the holotube ambience, with a secret 4th condition. If Freddy is inside the office, the holotube ambience volume is set to 100%. So, Freddy can sneak towards your office without triggering the holotube ambience, but if he gets into the room, then the holotube ambience will play at max volume. Here's what that sounds like.
It's gonna be so loud. Is that it? That's 100%? That's so quiet. That's pretty loud,
Knowing this
actually.
information could actually help you get through the game. For example, if you don't hear the holotube ambience playing, you know that nobody's nearby, and so you don't need to spend any power checking the lights. And if you click through the cameras and see that Bonnie is in backstage and Foxy still hasn't moved in
By the end of the video, it turns out the sound is all in their head. Alex, don't make me embarrass you and pull up your YouTube channel on stream.
an inch, but
I'm gonna play one of your videos so you hear your own voice and you get really self-conscious, because that's what all YouTubers do
you
when they hear their own voice.
can hear the holotube sound, you know that Chica is somewhere in the East Hall area, and
The
so you
sound
only
is
need to blink
scary.
the right light just in
And you
case she's
cone
at
for
the
the 10?
door. It's not the most useful thing ever, but I've had a lot of fun trying to deduce the animatronics' locations using this ambience alongside other cues. It adds a nice bonus challenge to the game to make a repeat playthrough more interesting, even if it doesn't necessarily make the game easier. That being
Bruh. Can I, like, okay. I don't want to be, like, negative Nelly. Isn't it crazy how popular this game got? And he's really like, the guy that's made this video, he's trying really hard to just show as much B-roll as possible. But 90% of the game was actually just pressing 4 buttons and then looking at an iPad.
said, there's one weird flaw with this ambience that slightly hurts its potential to provide useful info.
And also, if you press Freddy's nose there on the poster, it made a squeak sound. That's how you know I'm a professional.
Remember how 2 of the danger conditions were either Bonnie or Chica are in their respective hallway cameras or your door?
Did you see James Marriott's album got #1 in the UK? Did it actually? Based. Yeah, I know he's like, well, he's came back to YouTube now, but he's like focusing more on music.
What happens when they get inside the office? Well, their danger condition goes to false, and the holotube ambience either quiets down or mutes. The ambience thinks they're no longer a danger to you, even though they're in the room with you. Why does this happen? To answer that, let's take a look at this video by Game Exploiters. In the video, Game Exploiters re-enables many of the invisible objects in FNAF's gameplay screen. These consist of various variable counters, these huge rectangles used for the mouse controls, and most importantly for us, the animatronics positions. These 3 squares at the top of the camera map are the animatronics, and this is how the game determines
What music is he? Oh my god, I'm so white. What music is he playing here? This is Deus Ex, right? This is Deus Ex 1.
where they're located. If one of the animatronic squares is overlapping a camera button, and if that camera is currently being viewed, the game will pull up an image of that animatronic inside that room. It's extremely rudimentary, but it gets...
Bruh, the person in chat that was saying the guy that made this video sounds a bit like campy is now asking how thick the Doom guy is. There we have it. It's just like, this chat is projection after projection.
It's the job done. Also, this red square is used to determine what camera the player has selected, and Foxy is just a number internally, so he's not anywhere on this map. This is important for understanding why the ambience disappears when Bonnie or Chica enter the office. And here's why. Look carefully past all these purple rectangles, and you'll see this large, transparent green rectangle that covers the bottom half of the camera map. Game Exploiters claims that this rectangle is used to play the footstep sounds.
They should actually play this music during FNAF. Could you imagine? You're just doing it on 2020 mode. Just the sweat music.
Bonnie or
Hackerman music.
Chica move while inside of it, but I don't believe this is true. Animatronics don't have to be that close to you for their footsteps to be audible. You can hear when one of them moves off of the show stage.
That was footsteps? I heard nothing.
Instead, I believe this rectangle is the danger zone in which Bonnie or Chica must be inside of for their danger conditions to become true, and thus for the holotube ambience to become audible. Now, with that in mind, let me explain these smaller green squares underneath the map. These two squares here represent your office doors. So when Bonnie or Chica attack your door, their squares move here in order to do so. Then there's these two squares at the bottom which represent your office. That is, if Bonnie or Chica successfully get past the door, they move down to their respective office square. Similarly, this square on the far right is Freddy's office square, where he moves to if he gets inside the room. I don't know why there are 3 different office squares for each character, but them's the rules. You might
I just like how Freddy Fazbear has his own office. He's really moving up in the world.
have noticed what the problem is by now, why the holotube ambience regresses when Bonnie or Chica enter the office. As you can see, the 2 squares that represent the office are outside the danger zone that makes their danger conditions true. The 2 squares representing the doors are in the zone, so it works fine there. But once they enter the office,
I love people who have special interests. This is awesome. Dude, autism is a superpower.
they technically move outside the danger zone, which then makes their danger conditions false, causing the ambience to get less intense. So yeah, the ambience disappearing when they get inside is probably an oversight. Not like anyone will notice it that much aside from me, but it is one technical flaw with the holotube ambience. Now that that's all covered, I really want to highlight how genius this ambience is. First of all, the ambient sound itself is fantastic. It's unnerving, suspenseful, and confusing to listen to, which makes it super effective for adding tension, even after Five Nights at Freddy's crushes the audio quality to mono for some reason. It still works. For a stock sound effect, this was an excellent choice for FNAF. Though it's not the only excellent sound choice. All the other
I know that all the sound effects, like he said, are stock, like taken from online and stuff. Could you imagine if he just put in, like Scott Cawthon, he put in some really bad sound effect that just got outdated immediately? Like if you got jump scared, it just played the Vine thud boom or something.
sound effects in FNAF
Because that was a really popular sound at the time as well, before like it became ironic.
also work.
Thank you, Matt, for the 3. My birthday was last week. I turned 24. I'm now 1 year away from being a quarter of a century. Yeah, it's time to look into retirement homes, man. I'm sorry for you.
Wonders for the atmosphere. It's just that the dynamic nature of the hollow tube sound makes it stand out among the others in my eyes. The sound's greatest strength is how it discreetly sends a message that something is wrong and that you should stay alert, while not being so obvious as to let you attach the feeling of being in danger to that sound effect.
You're 30 next year? No, it's over. It was actually over before it began. Unfortunately.
This way, you will never truly feel comfortable on any of the nights, exacerbating the dread and paranoia you experience while playing. That dread and paranoia is the aspect of horror that Five Nights at Freddy's excels at, and I think the holotube ambience plays a big part in maintaining it. It's entirely likely that you will never know that the ambience is signaling anything at all. You may even tune it out over time. But whenever it is playing, it creates this extra presence in the sound design that might make you feel more tense without knowing why. I'm gonna let you listen to what the game sounds like when the night is calm and nobody's near, versus when everybody is near.
Could you imagine how easy this game would be if you played it ultra widescreen and you wouldn't have to look left and right to open and close the doors?
To let you hear the difference in the sound design's intensity now that you know to listen for it.
Okay, I hear the footsteps now. I hear the footsteps.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cold Ones. I'm your host, Chad. Anything for use? Yeah, joining me today is my mate. Hello. Chad.
What the dude? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. I was like, am I hearing voices in my head? Am I going insane? And then I don't know why, like my phone just started playing a Cold Ones video.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cold Ones. I'm your host, Chad. Anything for use?
Okay, that actually jump scared me. Oh my god. I was like, what? Why is that noise? Why is there people speaking in Five Nights at Freddy's and it's not the phone guy?
You can hear just how chaotic and full of noise the ambience gets when lots of threats are nearby. But whenever threats are distant, everything seems calm, albeit still tense thanks to the loud buzz of the light and fan. To avoid turning
the FNAF ambience update, yeah, they just have like Australian people talking in the background occasionally.
this video into another FNAF sound design deep dive, which was already done in a much
You just hear like Foxy and Chica outside the room, and then just really off in the distance. Oh, me fucking lighter. I need to go fucking botlow after a cash in me Centrelink check.
better way by Scruffy. I'll stop here. But I do think this ambience is underappreciated for how much it adds to the atmosphere of Five Nights at Freddy's. By comparison, FNAF 2 and 3 are a bit of a downgrade when it comes to sound design.
You just can't take that noise seriously. Bro, if I play FNAF 2, I just keep laughing the entire time.
And I think their warning ambiences are a large reason why. As iconic as FNAF 2's alarm might be, because it's so loud to the point it drowns out all the other ambient noises, it makes its purpose really obvious, which I think takes away from the feeling of dread the first game had. And the same can be said for FNAF 3. Thankfully, FNAF 4 brought the sound design back up to the levels of FNAF 1.
Wasn't FNAF 4 the one that is actually scary? Like, actually scary.
Which is good since that game is all about audio cues. FNAF 4 also has a really effective warning ambience, only this time it's a visual ambience instead of audio. If you've wondered what the deal is with the flickering lights in FNAF 4, well, that's the warning ambience. The way it works is a little more complicated than FNAF 1, so I'll direct you to It's Taken's FNAF 4 Explained video to learn more.
I mean, that was the first one where you weren't using a camera to look at vents. You were just doing it as some little fetus running around.
In short, the more animatronics there are that have made good progress towards attacking you, the more frequent and heavy the screen's flickering becomes. This is also genius. The ambience itself is the game threatening to take away your vision, your view of the game, one of the few pieces of concrete information you have. This is highly likely to stress you out, especially when Foxy enters the room and the flickering becomes constant. The other sound effect.
What are you meant to do with Foxy when he's in the room? You just keep spamming the flashlight? I know the others, you just have to check the corridors and then check the bed.
Effects of FNAF 4 don't change at all when you're in danger, but this simple flickering is enough to add significant tension to FNAF 4's gameplay. And just like the hollow tube ambience, you might not know what this flickering means, even if you've beaten the game. When it comes to atmosphere, I think FNAF 1 and 4 are the two best games out of the original quadrilogy. They both leave 2 and 3 behind to rot in the safe room. From here, no FNAF game since 4 has had any kind of warning ambience from my recollection.
Oh yeah, FNAF 4 was the last one, and then they had like 50 Gorillion spin-offs. I remember that.
And I don't know if Help Wanted's FNAF 1 remake brings back the hollow tube noise and its original function, because I haven't played Help Wanted. I think this is a shame. The warning ambiences were a really cool touch when they were executed well. But alas, FNAF 2 and 3 executed theirs quite poorly, especially 2. I think the warning ambiences work better when they allude to there being danger, rather than yell at you about the danger. Keeping players in suspense that way is what makes Five Nights at Freddy's such a great horror game series, and
the lore is the only reason people played. Yeah, that definitely put MatPat on the map, but also it drew more people to play the game.
hollow tube ambience as well as the light flickering
And then Hello Neighbor off to the side was like, I think MatPat would really like this. Hey, MatPat, I think you really like this theory about this game that I made.
in FNAF 4 do a great job at enforcing that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've always seen the hollow tube ambience as an
That was cool. It was nice to see a FNAF video that was actually talking about the mechanics, and it wasn't just like a, you know, like a flat out theory kind of thing as well.